Okay, boys and girls, sports fans, it's Den here. What do you think of the shirt? Anyway, I'm in the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and to my left, and probably your right, is Tim Brown, and he is CFO of Motus. Tim, good to meet you. What do you do with your company?
Motus, we focus on companies who have mobile employees who drive from more than 5,000 miles per year. We provide the most accurate reimbursement platform for vehicle reimbursement. By that, we take in our configuration engine takes into account hundreds of real-time variables so that we can personalize and localize the reimbursement for each employee depending on where they live in the country.
And you do that why? Why is that necessary?
Well, most companies today will either reimburse their employee or provide them with a company car. So, and if they reimburse them, they either give them a flat lump amount, which is taxable, or they pay them on a cent per mile rate, which is typically the IRS standard rate, which is really just a safe harbor rate. The IRS says as long as you submit a mileage log, you can pay somebody up to 54 cents per mile, and it'll be tax free. But that assumes that everybody is now being paid at a national average, so that you have somebody in the country is then being over reimbursed, someone else in the country is being under reimbursed, because gas prices, insurance, property tax, all of the costs that go into operating a vehicle for business use vary greatly depending on where you live.
Sure.
Our program takes into account all of those variables so that we can customize that rate down to the individual, taking into all those factors. So if you live in Detroit or if you live in the suburbs outside of Detroit, 15 miles of difference can make up about $1,000 of cost per year in your insurance costs. And so we're able to delineate between those who are in a suburban environment versus a rural environment. And depending on where you live, gas prices will vary significantly as well.
So I presume that this translates into significant savings then for you?
Absolutely. We can save employers typically $2,500 to $3,500 per year per employee who are on our program.
Wow, that's a lot of money, right?
Significant savings, and the ROI is typically inside of 6 months for signing up for our software as a service solution.
Is this one of those cases where this stuff sells itself almost?
I believe, I think those who are those that were able to educate and understand kind of the value proposition definitely do see that it's the ROI decision around it is a very quick decision.
Okay, so it's a fairly complex matrix of measures that you have to think about, working across national scale as well, so a lot of variables involved there. So you're used to complexity straight off the bat, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So given that you're used to complexity, where does the FinancialForce system fit into this? What is the story there?
Well, we started as a company where we were using Salesforce as a tool for our sales team, but knew that we needed to build a data backbone for our company. We wanted to be able to track every interaction with a customer and with our clients and to have that all in one system. So it began really with an evaluation of extending Salesforce with Service Cloud, but also at the same time looking at how do we move to a cloud-based accounting system that would interact directly with our Salesforce data. And as we began to evaluate different providers, for me it became very apparent that FinancialForce was the obvious choice, given that it's built natively on the Salesforce platform.
Okay.
And the ability to then share data and keep it all around one client object was the power of the platform, and made it really easy to integrate, set up, and for us to implement in a very short period of time. So
let's talk about what this means out in the field. Presumably then that means that the sales guys are able to get hold of data financial data specifically, that wouldn't have been so easy for them in the past. Is that right?
Correct. What we were able to do is it took us, with a team of 4 at the time, 60 days to implement, to cut over from our prior accounting system onto FinancialForce. And once we had it up and running, we were then able to, through standard objects that were a part of the FinancialForce platform, just permit others across the company who had Salesforce licenses to see that data. And it gave them the transparency and visibility to drill into what is the status of an invoice. Has it gone from draft into sent? Has that invoice then been collected? And for our sales team, that's quite critical because their commissions are based off of cash collections. So instead of them now calling into somebody on the finance team to try to track down the status of an invoice, they're able to self-serve on that data. But more importantly, just the power of being able to kind of capture all of those different data points, publish them out, roll them up into reports for the management team gives everyone from our chief revenue officer to our CTO and everyone kind of in between the ability to see kind of what the status is of the company and are we operating on plan.
I like the way you think about, commissions based on cash collections. Always a good idea in my view. Yeah. Okay. So we've got a pretty successful implementation that's been able to provide genuine benefit to pretty much everybody in the business. Allowed you on this basis to extend your use of Salesforce beyond pure contract management and so forth, right? Okay, so there's a lot of benefit there. What's next?
Well, for us, we've really viewed in one of the key decisions or a key factor in my decision to move to FinancialForce was the fact that it was modular in our approach. We were able to take phase one, which was really just pushing out kind of our base accounting system. We've now extended that with going into using exactly for commissions, which takes FinancialForce data in order to roll those up into commission reporting. We also, through an API, leverage a connection into Host Analytics that we use for our forecasting. And now, this summer, we're looking at phase 2 of our accounting implementation, which will extend FinancialForce into the service contracts module, their configure price quote tool, as well as further automating our revenue recognition. As we continue to scale, we're trying to further automate everything that we do and be able to take the data that's already sitting in the system and leverage that in the best possible way we can.
Way more than debits and credits, way more than a almost silent, we hope, back office function then altogether then, right?
It's really about driving kind of the business's data and then trying to drive business intelligence back to the rest of the company. And we couldn't do that, 3 years ago when we had a siloed accounting system that wasn't connected with any other customer data. Today, we're able to build reports and really start to take it to the next level of our ability to drive the analysis and really provide better insights back to the rest of the company so that we can ensure that we're all operating, and driving the plan, that we've developed as a management team.
Okay. Boys and girls, who would ever have thought that a good old ERP system, a good old ERP financial system could drive value right across the business? But this guy's got the story. Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you.